Glutton for punishment.
And yeah, so we do bulk billed sleep studies. So we have a relationship with Medicare that funds our testing, and then obviously we sell sleep disorder products. And that's my story.
Thank you, Kylie. So,
Hi, I'm Jenny. I work for Kylie. I handle her marketing at the sleep clinic or anything else that she requires.
Hi, I'm Ross Bain and my wife Magella, and we invented a fishing product that we sell globally and get it manufactured in South Korea, sell it on Amazon's and actually a big market for us, and had some videos go viral on Facebook and over 200 million views later. Yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride. So we're here anyway to check out some more marketing stuff from JD.
good stuff.
Cheers.
And I'm the best one to talk to about fishing. I would not know how to get the fish. In fact, whenever we've been fishing, which you only go when you're an idiot like me, you only do fishing on holidays when the kids were growing up. And I've never been able to get a hook out of a fish. I pull its head off all the time. And in fact, there was one instance where we've got 6 millennial kids, in other words, 6 unemployed kids. And one of them, Greg, who's late 20s, 30 now, and his girlfriend at the time was an animal activist. Like, she was the female Steve Irwin. And we're on a houseboat up in Noosa on one occasion. So, and the other kids were smaller, so they're teenagers, and we're fishing. And I caught something, and it was too small. So everyone's going, oh, I guess you'll throw it back. And now Naomi, her name was, and she's going, oh my God, I just hate this, people, killing fish. And I said, Jesus did this too. And so anyway, I couldn't get it off. It went on for like hours, and eventually somehow I got it off, didn't I? And the thing's just, and I'll thank God for that. And I threw it behind me like that to go back into the water to keep her happy. It hit the pole in the boat and came down and killed itself immediately, So I don't go fishing that much, really, yeah. Who's next? Peter, here goes.
G'day, I'm Peter Milios. I'm in the hair and beauty industry. We've got retail outlets doing hair and waxing services and things like that. And come for JD looking for inspiration. Haven't found it yet, but hopefully today might be different. So see what happens.
He came to me looking for inspiration. Peter, you're an idiot.
Hi, my name's Greg. I run a couple of businesses in the gemstone industry and coaching, and I'm the only one with a blue lanyard, and that means I'm here purposely to just upset JD for the day.
Hi, I'm Sharon Mackay. In business, I've actually just opened a clinic this year, so I'm a kinesiologist, and just trying to get things happening out west. Thanks.
And Shannon, do you find that a lot of people don't know what a kinesiologist is?
Oh no, I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Can you spell that for me?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Give me some paper.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come to this table. You guys look pretty interesting, to be honest with you. You look like the most interesting table. Absolutely, because you're close to the front.
Well, my name is Melissa, and I've come all the way from Perth just for you, so put on a performance, please.
Gosh, you're going to be sadly fancy going to all that.
And I'll report back, don't you worry.
Back. Now, you're in the real estate game, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a marketing manager at Plenty Training with Maria. So I do all the marketing for everything. We do vocational education for the Certificate 4 in Training and Assessment, which is a really popular qualification around Australia.
Good stuff.
Hi, my name's Maria. I'm the owner of Plenty Training. We've been in JD's program on and off since 2016. I don't know if I've got anything more to learn. I thought I might just take it over, JD.
Yeah, please.
I'm like the apprentice.
Please, I'll give it to you for $1.
So we've implemented lots of JD stuff over the years, and I do come for inspiration too. So my little fix.
Goodness me. That's because we have a new sound guy today, and he said, "Oh, do you have like inspirational, pumped up music when people come in?" I went, no, look, we're the opposite to that. There is no hugging, there's no kissing, there's no motivation. Basically, you put your hand up and volunteer to have a hot seat. I bring your website up here and bag the shit out of it. So it's quite the opposite, actually, from a motivational seminar. Yeah. Homer, how are you, mate? Good to see you. Now, we might as well give, where's the microphone? Oh, sorry, yeah, good, Sheree. No, it's all right, Sheree can go. Homer, I don't really care about you. Okay, good.
Hi, I'm Sheree. I'm from here,
Gold Coast, work in orthodontics.
Bit closer, Sheree, bit closer.
Sorry, work in orthodontics, Clear Smiles, and we specialise in Invisalign.
Good.
And I do
Orthodontics.
marketing.
And Sheree's owner of her business would be probably regarded as the number one orthodontist in Australia. In fact, he's invited, isn't he, to speak around the world? Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, it's not about orthodontists. He's also an alcoholic. So he speaks around the world on what it's like to beat alcoholism. Speaking of alcoholics, Homer.
I've just been given a microphone.
Now, what it is, it's like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. We're just going around and saying what we do, that's all.
Okay,
I know you don't do much, but give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm very good at doing nothing. I'm actually a professional comic speech maker. I'm known as the corporate imposter. You know, I do this, but I'm legitimately here in my capacity as Homer Papantonio. And
Now, spell that surname.
yeah,
eh?
yeah, that's P-A-P-A-N.
No, not you. Homer and I only met a little while ago, but we got on, famously because we're both dickheads. And Homer will come out at a big conference, like a Coca-Cola conference, and pretend to be the general manager from overseas, speaking, and he'll put on an accent, wouldn't matter, American or Indian, whatever it may be, and everyone thinks it's fair income. And he doesn't do the reveal until after he essentially insulted everyone, or did something really ridiculous.
Big events like Microsoft's company kickoff. So I educate, inform through tailored storytelling, and we've all got a little story to tell, and I try and do it in an informative, motivational way, educational way, like Mr. JD does.
Exactly.
I better get rid of the microphone, otherwise I'll have to start charging you.
Okay, so back to this table. Billy's next. And by the way, let me just highlight, we have an author in the room because Billy has just launched her book, and it's called How Mice Can Roar, and that is an inspirational book. So if anyone's interested in, just feeling good for the weekend, you might like to talk to Billy because Billy will not tell you this, but she opened Sanctuary Cove with Frank Sinatra singing, okay? So when Frank Sinatra and Whitney Houston were here to open Sanctuary Cove all those years ago, Billy was the support act for that. You don't get much higher than that, do you? Okay? I was the support act at the Riverwood Boy Scouts Hall where I sang for 5 minutes, but lucky you, I have a videotape of that. Billy.
Oh, I can hardly wait. I'll just pee my pants. Oh, sorry. Yes, my name's Billy Wild. Hello. Some of you will know. And hello. And I teach voice, also stage presentation, how to own the room, all that sort of thing. It's going from teaching you how to get your intellectual property through your heart into your emotional center and then go whack out to everybody else's emotional center so that they get it, David. And that's the important thing.
Thank you, Billy. And Billy's launching a business where she is going to be mentoring and coaching people who want to be able to speak better, who want to be able to feel comfortable in front of an audience, whether it be a boardroom audience or something like this, and also people who might like to sing. And Billy's doing something that I hope you'll walk away with here today, and that is she's scaling her business. She's scaling. Because if Billy was to do the RSL circuit, then she's going to be on a milk run, isn't she? She's going to go from an RSL to... Now, I was talking to a few guys outside earlier, and I was just saying, look, I'm trying to wind down this sort of thing for two reasons. Number one, it's harder to fill rooms these days. Who goes to seminars? Basically, we get it all off the net, don't we? And so you've got to spend a few dollars on Facebook and LinkedIn and all those sorts of things. And the way I'm trying to scale, because we're not 25 anymore, is actually become a Facebook Live slut, which is what I have been, okay? And so therefore, I pump out as much as that as I possibly can, not quite at the Gary Vaynerchuk level or Grant Cardone, but I pump out enough as I possibly can. And it's helping me reduce doing these things. And it's great because you get to a much bigger crowd. I can speak once to many here. You might have 30 or 40 or 50 people at a time. You can talk to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. I mean, we only have to put $50 behind a video that gets maybe 100 or 200 views, and we'll go to 5,000 within like 3 or 4 days. That's a much bigger audience, and we're finding the leads that we're getting from that, particularly LinkedIn, because I'm B2B, really helps us back off on doing as many of these. Because there was a whole bunch of people that loved doing the Partridge Family Tour, and I happen to be not one of those. So therefore, for me, the Facebook Live stuff is scaling, And what we're working with Billy on is to scale her skills. She's an incredible singer. She won New Faces, you know, like 5 times in a row. I mean, you name it, she's nailed it. And now's the time. Sorry, Star Search, what? Star Search, yeah. And so therefore now it's time to, you know, really scale that and not only do things like this, but also invite people to learn online, because with Skype and Zoom and all that sort of stuff these days, she doesn't have to be sitting next to them. David.
I just want everyone to give Billy a clap, the first thing. I'm David from Mount Cravat Pressure Cleaning. I wash people's houses and driveways and solar panels to save them time and effort. And I'm also in the throes of starting a business consultancy operation, and that's one of the reasons I'm here to hear from the best. Thank you.
David, if I could just say to you, that was not even half as interesting as Billy, to be honest with you. Could you sing? Maybe when you're washing people's houses with the gurney machine, if you could sing, maybe we can make something of that. But at the moment, no, that's not as exciting as Billy, I'm sorry. Yeah. You shoot them with the water blaster. I guess what I'm leading to is that because that was not interesting, could you leave, if you don't mind? So, yeah. Errol.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Errol Hibbard, and I own a company called Global Emergency Card. And we're getting very close to launching this card throughout Australia, obviously with JD's help. And what the card does is we store people's vital medical information and contacts for your family in case of an accident, or if a case of a person becomes sick or injured and can't convey their personal details, etc., to emergency services. So here, yeah, me like everybody else are here to learn from the best.
Good stuff, mate. Well done. I think this table looks... Oh, sorry. Okay, good. Done.
Hi, my name is Amanda. I've got a renovation development company and I'm a female property coach. So I help females invest in property successfully.
Good stuff. Well done.
Thank
That's
you.
a good niche to get into. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Lydia and it's my partner Troy. We started our own business last year, and my background is in human resources, and I love connecting talent and with business. So finding people the right career path, it's my passion. So
you help people choose the right career path.
Yeah.
Can I spend some time with you maybe later on? Because yeah.
We can certainly, yes, please. And here's my partner. His expertise is in work health and safety, and I think it's really crucial for businesses to understand what's required in terms of their providing their staff with a safe workplace. And so we sort of join forces and under the banner of Tech Resources.
Good stuff. Great stuff. Well done. Did you want to add to that?
Yeah. We'll find out if you get to know me that I'm quite passionate about safety. So I'm about helping companies make sure they meet their objectives under the Act and legislation. Unfortunately, sitting here yesterday, we lost another life in New South Wales. So a total of 114 deaths so far this year. So my passion is about getting out there, get the message out there, and my passion is helping employees meet their objectives, but also realising that the bottom line is met when you meet your objectives under the acts and legislation. So that whole understanding of what your roles and responsibilities are can actually improve your bottom line. So I'm out there to help people to meet the bottom line, and the result is saving lives, and that's what I'm passionate about. I've been a medic, I'm a firefighter, waiting until Sunday. I'm heading out the fields on Sunday to fight the fires in the fields, and I'm passionate about safety. So that's why I'm here to learn more about how I can get the message out and hopefully save more lives, and that's the objective of it, is saving lives.
I think that deserves a clap too. Well done, mate. Well done.
Hi, my name's Cheryl Eagle. I'm a myotherapist. I just been in business for about 4 years in myotherapy and in my own
Now, myotherapy, is that
house.
like David Jones therapy, or because my wife
Myo
has...
means muscle.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a multimodal practice of helping people with pain and dysfunction.
And who's your target audience? Because that's really what we're going to be talking about. moment until probably midnight, is your target audience. And it's not about your target audience, but your most, I was joking because I could see some people going, 11 p.m. we'll be out here. So therefore, it's not about your target audience. It's thank you, Homer. It's about your most profitable target audience. Okay, so when people say, "Oh, my target audience is women," if you're into wrinkle cream, your most profitable target audience, if it's an expensive wrinkle cream, are probably Sanctuary Cove women over 45. So it's about zeroing in on your most profitable target audience and then looking for more people who look like them. Yep.
Well, it's women.
Yep.
Yeah, I work inside a gym. I
Mhm.
rent a room.
Yep.
And mostly women come to me.
Yep.
And a lot of pregnant women come to me. So, and I've worked in the health industry with women in pregnancy a lot.
Gotcha. So you're very clear about your target audience. Yeah, well done. Yeah, well done.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm a surgeon specialising in limb amputations. We've had to cut back on our benches.
Tony,
Yeah.
you're an idiot, all right? So
No, really. We've had to cut back on our expenses, so we don't use anaesthetics anymore. And we're just using chainsaws. So just to make sure limbs don't fall on the floor, we rope them up first. So when we cut them off, they swing down. It's mostly tree limbs, by the way, which we're
He's a tree
working
lobber.
on. Yeah, arborist actually is here.
Tony, you're an
Yeah,
idiot. But I have
Thanks,
to say
man.
to you, that's funny. That's well done.
Cheers.
And you know what? We've only had 2 claps. I'd have to give Tony a clap. I reckon.
Hi, I'm Abdul. I'm Tony's guest today, his son as well. You know what I got to put up with. We work together.
And you've got to put up with all the dad jokes like my kids do. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And yeah, we work together. So he's brought me along to see what he's been going through the past 12 months.
Good. Well done. Well done.
Hello, everyone. My name's Patrick Moroney, and I'm a health and safety consultant as well. And I've already been on site in Brisbane this morning. I can prove it. I left my boots on, I realised. So that is a passion, but my real passion is providing unique and entertaining events in the we particularly target the hiking market, and run hiking trips anywhere in Australia or the world. So we haven't done any across the world yet.
Wow.
So we've only done it in Australia. So we want to move and take people on trips around the world.
Right.
And so we've got a website up and going. Pretty soon it's up there. Sky Road Trail it's called, and it's mainly a boutique hiking.
Because I think
trip
everything in
business.
life should rhyme. Because when I got to look after the Greater Building Society, some dickhead advertising agency got there before me, and their tagline was Greater Building Society. Their tagline was "Sooner or later, it's the greater." And I just shook my head. Not everything has to rhyme in your advertising. So when some ponytailed black T-shirt, Doc Marten shoes tells you that it's got to rhyme, just run the other way. But I've been thinking if you do, like you're in the hiking thing, so if you get together with maybe some bikers, it could be the bikers who are also hikers, something like that. We could work on that.
Yeah, well, I worked on that Sky Road Trail name. I worked on it for 6-8 months trying to come up with a name and something that was unique. So it's not used at all throughout the world. And so we put that name together and registered it. And
Well, you know what we could do too? How about this? It would be, if I just grab it off here, we could use this as a logo, and it could be the bikers who are hikers with the micers, something like that. We'll work on that later on anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Next one. Yeah.
I don't think he's impressed at all, John.
I told you, you didn't come here to be motivated.
Hi, I'm Vicky Lennox, and I work with clients to repair relationships.
I'll have to talk to you again later on as well. It's going to be a late day. By the way, I just want to tell you, Gail, my wife there in the white top, it is our 30th wedding, and we're celebrating our 30th wedding. Yeah, anniversary day. We've been happily married today. We've been happily married for 30 years. We've been married for 35 years, but happily married for 30 of those years. I just thought I'd highlight that. And that was bullshit. I just make that up all the time. Yeah. By the way, what are they going to call Bob the Builder when he retires? Bob. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Thanks, John. My name's Dave McCoy, and
I work with business owners. Generally, they come to me when things have all turned to chaos and mud. We sort that out and then take the business upward and onward from there. So it's a training, mentoring and coaching business that I run, focusing on business owners.
Good stuff, mate.
Hello, I'm Eliza Job and I design, manufacture, import, distribute parts amongst the greenskeepers industry. I'm business to business predominantly across 5 industries. So golf, racing, local government, contractors, schools, polo fields, turf farms are all my clients.
Wow.
We also have a contracting company, so we actually renovate some fields as well for local government.
Wow, well done, well done. Carl, I'm going to need a clicker, so. Yeah.
Hello, my name's Brenda and I've got 2 projects on the go. The main one is we actually help people get out of the 9-to-5 rat race and get into their own home business in Amazon. So we teach people the smart strategies on actually how to do it right, import the right products and make good money. So I'm really passionate about getting people out of their day job, considering I haven't had a day job for a long time, couldn't stand it. So that's one of my passions. The other thing is we've just started a business. So brand new, it's just a little baby. And we don't even have our first customer yet. So we're really excited about launching it and helping local businesses get on the front page of Google. And mainly local businesses that are so busy doing their job, they have no idea what they're doing to get on the front page.
Absolutely. Well done.
And Hayden's...
Well done.
I guess so. Yeah, hi, I'm Hayden. Yeah, I do all of the computer stuff in the background. So Brenda's on the phones talking with people.
So you're in the dark room and she feeds pizzas under the door?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she thought she'd drag me along today so I could actually see some people for a change instead of a
Good.
computer screen.
Good.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay, well, that's about it. Well, welcome, everybody. Sorry? No, we've been through that. Yep. That dementia's a bad thing, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so therefore, you're probably wondering, look, what are we going to go through here today? I'm wondering the same thing, to be honest. This stuff that I've specialised in throughout the last few years, like 20 or 30, is direct response marketing. So it's very different from marketing in general. And I say that because it's much more measurable. And if I asked anyone in the room here today, if they've got the budget to build a brand that the advertising agencies over the years tell you that you should be doing, build a brand and then they will come. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we buy Kellogg's and that's why we drive a Toyota and that's why we go to McDonald's maybe, because they built a brand. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but you have to have deep pockets. So who has at least maybe $5 million to build their brand over the next 10 years? Okay, I don't know why I put my hand up either. So most of the people who come into this environment are business owners that are doing south of 10 million. And I know that a lot of you are sitting there going, well, I'd love to be doing 9 or 10 million. But the fact of the matter is that most businesses that are doing under 10 million have grown organically, but they don't have any marketing manager. In fact, most of them don't have any marketing skills. A lot of them can't spell marketing. And the thing is that they've grown through referrals, they've just grown organically, but they have no clue what to do on Facebook or LinkedIn or letterbox roses or radio or TV or any of that sort of stuff. And it's really, really weird because generally speaking, and some of you guys that have been to my things before, you'll hear this, challenge for about the 100th time, but who here in the room thinks that, you really should have a good product or service to actually have a successful business? I mean, who agrees with that? You've got to have a good product or service. No. Who thinks McDonald's makes the best hamburger in the world? So McDonald's would have arguably what you'd say is a pretty ordinary hamburger, but they sell more hamburgers than all the other hamburger shops put together because they're pretty good at marketing, okay? We have on our program a whole bunch of businesses from all sorts of different industries, and a number of them have got shit products and just crap service, okay? But they're making good money because we've taught them how to market, okay? Now, I'm not suggesting you should have a shit product or you should have bad service. You want to aspire to be Disney or Apple and all that good stuff. But the fact is that you don't have to have the leading product to make money. And it's great if you do, that's fantastic. But when you think about it, there's really only 3 things that can help you be successful. Number one, you have a product advantage or a service advantage. And a product advantage means that you are the iPhone, okay? And there's no one out there near you, all right? Or you are Uber and there's no one out there near you. Who here has a product advantage that think that no one else in the world would have your product? You're that unique. You're the Rubik's Cube. Who's got that? You have? In Australia. And sorry, because you just popped in towards the end there, we were doing the Alcoholics Anonymous Get to Know Everyone and you missed out on the microphone. So do you mind if we just give you that microphone and you might tell us what game you're in? First of all, your name, yeah. Nice and close. We got a problem with that microphone, I think.
My name's Ellie Crawford. I'm from GoBank. I'm part of a startup on the Gold Coast. We have portable chargers that basically you can rent for 99 cents an hour at any Go station and return at any Go station. So we're launching on the Gold Coast and in Brisbane over the next few months. So think of Mobike for batteries. So Android, iPhone, iPad, any smart device.
Great, and I looked at your website when you registered because, and they're little, almost like an ATM in the middle of a shopping centre that you come along and plug your phone into.
That's right. Oh, no, you get out a battery. So you scan the QR code, out pops a battery, and you can take it with you and then drop it back at any other Go station around Australia.
And I guess what your challenge is to get as much distribution as the Go stations possibly
we've got hosts on board, but it's getting consumer awareness because people think you have to stay next to the station to charge your phone, but you can just take it with you to power bank.
You're going to be really interested with what you'll hear before lunch because I have a way to avalanche that. Okay, yeah.
Sounds great.
So the thing is that the world that I live in fact, the latest book, you've got to put books out when you're doing this stuff. And I think we've had 4 or 5. And someone said to me last week, oh, look, I like that book, so-and-so. And I said, in chapter 5. And I said, what would be chapter 5? And he told me what it was. I've never read one of my books, so I don't know whether they're any good. I just dictate the thing, it gets transcribed, and then it gets printed. But I think there's some good stuff in there. I might read. In fact, I'd say to Gail, it was only about a week ago, I was by the bed and I picked it up and read a chapter. I said, this is not bad. It's pretty good stuff, yeah. And then I signed it and gave it to myself. Yeah. So what my stuff is all about is avalanche leads, and obviously not avalanche bad leads, but leads. Okay, so number one, have you got a product advantage? And we've got one person in the room that probably, in a valid way says, yes, I have, but most of us don't. Number two, if you haven't got a product advantage, then have you got a systems advantage? Because that's what McDonald's has got. They've got 16-year-old kids running their restaurants because they've got a systems advantage. Who here has something like that whereby your system is so red hot that that is what gives you an advantage? Okay, and Shrey at the orthodontist has that. Anyone else? Okay, so most of us don't have a systems advantage. Disneyland has both a product advantage because if you go to Disney, who's been to a Disney park? Okay, so if you've been to Disneyland, you've probably been down the road to Universal, and it's a completely different experience, okay? One can't do enough for you. The other has 16-year-old kids who, are pretty nonchalant about, don't get me wrong, it's still a great theme park, but the fact is it's not Disney. So Disney has a product advantage, but they also have a systems advantage. When you go into Disneyland, you see everything just works like clockwork. It's unbelievable. So if you don't have a product advantage and you don't have, like Sheree has at the orthodontist business, a systems advantage, then what's left? What do you think's left? It starts with M. Marketing advantage. That's the only advantage that you can have because 99.9% of you in this room have no product advantage. You've got no systems advantage. You certainly don't want to have a price advantage. The reason you don't is because if you keep on dropping your pants, there's no margin. So you don't really want to have a price advantage unless it's sustainable. But for most of us, we're not Kmart, we're not Big W. We weren't built to be a discount store. So if you drop your pants 1 month, then there's a good chance you're not going to be able to do that next month if you want to stay in business. So the only out for you, if you don't have the systems and the product advantage, is to have a marketing advantage. And that's what this is all about. This is all about showing you not just how to have a marketing advantage, but to have a one that is very measurable. So the real estate game, for example, I'm asked, well, not that often now because I insult everyone in the room, but I'm asked to speak at real estate seminars from time to time, Glenn Twiddles and what have you. And I normally say to the 100, 200 real estate agents in the room, what do you guys do for a living? And pretty much everyone says, oh, we sell houses. I said, well, put that another way. They go, oh, we market houses. Oh, okay, so you market houses. Well, you know what, if I was going to get a heart surgery, I think I'd probably just ask the doctor, does he have qualifications? Do you think that would be a fair question? You're going to cut my chest open and rip out my heart. Have you done this before? And if I'm going to get my car serviced, I would imagine that the car mechanic has a certificate on the wall somewhere in that car mechanic's workshop that says that he was a authorised, qualified car mechanic. So I said to the real estate agents, there's 200 of them in the room. If you're marketing my home, then obviously you would have marketing qualifications. Who here in the room has a marketing qualification? You could hear, no, not this room, in the real estate room. Real estate room. Guess what? You can hear crickets in the background. They're all imposters. They're not marketed shit. They drove a taxi last month, and yet they're going to charge you 2.5% to sell your home. You've got to be joking. Not a chance in the world I've ever let a real estate agent anywhere near the homes that we've sold, because 99.9% of them are imposters. And, I don't care if they're watching on Facebook Live. That's just the reality, because they don't. Their entire business is marketing a home, and yet they've got no marketing skills. Why would you trust a doctor to rip your heart open and give you heart surgery if he doesn't have a certificate? It's nutso. And so, therefore, I use that as an example because there are industries out there who are pretending to be experts. Well, a lot of people within that industry pretending to be experts, but in fact, they're not. They're not. And I say to you, well, let me tell you the real estate thing. I had a real estate agent on board a little while ago, and I said, what do you want? Now, I knew what the answer is. I'm just mucking around. Oh, more listings, because without listings, then they're an empty Myer store because they don't have any merchandise. So they need listings to sell. And of course, then you say, well, how do you get listings? And of course, they chase appraisals. Who has had in their letterbox that leaflet that's printed one side, because real estate agents, for some reason, have decided they don't print two sides? If they ran TV commercials, they'd probably run 15 to 30 seconds with a blank screen. I don't know what that's about, Do not print single-sided leaflets. Drives people like me nuts. There's a number of things that scare the shit out of me. Number one, single-sided leaflets, because you're wasting 50% of your real estate, excuse the pun, and it doesn't cost you any more to print both sides. The other thing that scares me is those office dividers. When you go into office now, because the millennials are running the world, they've got just a little office divider. I can hear what that person's saying. Build a damn wall, for God's sake, like they did in the good old days. I mean, that's ridiculous. And the other thing that annoys the shit out of me are when you're in a meeting and there's documents and they haven't got page numbers on it. And you're flipping over. I know it's all PowerPoint these days. They go, look, and the next page with the yellow graph, you go, there's yellow graphs on every page. What page number would that be? Just to take the piss out of them. Oh, we didn't number the page. Of course you didn't, because you're a moron. And the other thing that really scares me is just short people. They're just really, really scary because they're like carnies, aren't they? They're not good. So, in fact, Gala, remember, we were running one of these and I said, if you want to join the club and, do our whole song and dance thing, there is a restriction. We do not take any Beryls or Daphnes or Esmes because they're just boring, okay? And then we also don't take any short people. And this guy comes up to me at half time and he goes, mate, look, I want to join your coaching program, but I've got a bit of a problem. And I said, what? He said, my wife's not here today, but her name's like Esme. And I went, oh, mate, look, we have to take that to a committee meeting because normally we don't let Esmes in. He said, no, it gets worse. I said, what? He said, she's 5'2", I said, no, I'm sorry, we just can't do that. Okay, so therefore, this is about avalanche direct response marketing, and it's all about identifying your most profitable customer and looking for more people who look like them. Okay. I have a system that I've had for quite a few years, and Marie and the other guys that have been here for a while have seen this before, but I think it's worth refreshing because it's the Institute of Wow. I've got to have a wanky name, so we call it the Wheel of Wow. That's tragic. And by the way, the acronym for Wheel of Wow is? Thank you, Gail, because no one else gave a shit, Homer's over there smoking dope. I don't know what you're doing, Homer, seriously. You know what this is like. You do this all the time, right? You know what it's like to have a shit audience, okay? Yeah. Who in this room here, I thought they were going to break up into quarters, is that okay? Give me a second. How do I go back? Okay. Right out. You think that I might have done this before, wouldn't you? Normally what happens is the little part of that pie comes out, but I don't know. It played up. Okay, yeah, just embarrass the speaker. Okay, so who's your most profitable target audience? Everybody here know who the most profitable target audience is? What do you think my most profitable target audience is? I'll tell you, a white-collar business. And you'll say to me, hang on, can't you help truck drivers and can't you help blue singlet? Yes, I can, but most of them don't want to be helped. If I have in these sorts of environments accountants and lawyers and dentists and chiropractors, physiotherapists, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to have a good close rate because they want to feed their brain. If I've got a blue singlet business in the room, they're going to think I'm a wanker because I'm wearing a coat. They're not far wrong, but they think I'm a wanker, and they will be harder to sell. Now, they'll be just as profitable because, you know, whoever gives me the money gives me the money. But guess what? Who do you think is going to be a brain drain? Who do you think is going to be the one that I really have to work hard with to get them off their ass to do shit? Who do you think, the blue singlet or the white collar? The blue singlet. Because they do most of their, you know, their marketing with a Peter Jackson 50 down at the pub on a Friday afternoon when they swap business cards. And so for me, for the most part, they're a very tough client to get to do anything because they've been dragged along by their wives or something to come to one of these wanker functions, and begrudgingly they've admitted that they have no clue about marketing. They've only got one way to get out of the shit that they're in, and that is to learn marketing. But try and get them to get onto Facebook. I had one guy in Gosford, aluminium fence company, and he joined the program, and he said to me, JD, before we start anything, I just want to let you know that that face page thing doesn't work. Yeah, okay, well, it's Facebook, you know. He goes, well, whatever it is, it doesn't work. And I said, why is that? And he said, well, because I've been putting ads on face page, and basically I'm getting nowhere with them. I said, who are you targeting? Who do you think an aluminium fence manufacturer's target audience would be? What do you think his target audience would be? People who live in a certain house, people who live in a new or old house. Aluminium fence. People who live in older suburbs that have got paling fences that are falling down. Okay, I much more enjoy it up here. It's much better to look down upon you. That's great. So therefore, if only we had texters. But anyway, this is a never-ending problem with these things. But okay, so he has a. It's the size of a bee stick. Okay, so okay, so therefore, what he did is that he did that. That was his ad. That was his Facebook ad. A picture of an aluminium fence. What do you think the big mistake that he's made there already? Okay, so he's putting it out into the central coast of New South Wales, into older suburbs, because you can do that with Facebook, of course. It's the most laser, targeted form of marketing the world's ever seen. So he can say, look, I only want to go into postcodes with older homes that have got paling fences that are falling down, and he's showing a picture of an aluminium fence. Now you would say, logically, well, okay, he's selling aluminium fences. What do you want him to put there? Comparison is good. Billy's come up with that. That's good. He's showing the features. Okay, so he's showing the features. You know, if features were to sell, Jenny Craig would be running all her Facebook ads with a bowl of rice. Okay, because the only way to lose weight is just eat rice. All right, stop eating. But she doesn't do that. She shows before and after. You've seen all the Spice Girls and the whole thing. Somebody is overweight, they're not feeling good about themselves, but they go on the Jenny Craig program, they end up within 3 weeks looking like a supermodel. And that's what they do. They're the benefits. You want to run away as fast as you possibly can from features. And what you're going to see here today is demonstration of someone who concentrates on the benefits. And this thing here failed miserably. He poured money just down the drain. And so I said, look, you just want to get out of the way because you're a dickhead. And he said, yes, thank you. Then I said to him, look, the sort of stuff that you're doing here is just wrong. Why don't we just take it over? So we took it over, and what we did is ran a Facebook campaign, which was the ugliest back fence in Australia contest. And what you had to do is take a photo of your falling down paling fence and post it up to his Facebook page for the chance to win an aluminium fence makeover, which cost him next to nothing. He had 2 years worth of leads in 3 days. We spent $514 and stopped the campaign. Because guess what he did? Anyone with a bad fence not only glowed in the dark, they took a photo and sent it to him. You don't get much warmer lead than that. And we do the same for kitchen renovators, the ugliest kitchen in the world. When obviously we want to flush out people with an ugly kitchen, so therefore they take a photo of the kitchen, they post it up to his Facebook page. Do you understand that there's ways to create avalanche response, and it's generally not just showing your product? And that's about it. So thanks for coming. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your life. Because the reaction to that was not exactly what I was hoping. And if you don't get more animated, then I will put a curse on you that you would die in your sleep tonight. Wouldn't that be funny if someone came tomorrow without their partner? They were, look, unfortunately, Esme died last night. You know, yeah. Okay, create a wow. And McDonald's are pretty good at that because for about 3 or 4 decades, they have had something in their Happy Meal. What is it? A toy. Yep, okay. And what that toy has done is taken all of our eyes off the price. Now, our kids are millennials now, but at one stage we had 6 kids under 12 in the back of a Tarago, and we would just go through McDonald's to keep them quiet. And guess what they did with the hamburger? Nothing. They never ate the hamburger. It was all about the Disney toy. And so McDonald's were able to take our eyes off the price. And those of you who have been around me for a little while will know that a few years ago, one of my clients was the Greater Building Society, and we did exactly the same with an adult Happy Meal toy. And the adult Happy Meal toy was a free, anybody want to take a stab at it? A free holiday. God almighty. I've just got to go. Actually, I've got to go. Anybody know where Bunnings is here? I just want to buy some rope. Yeah. Sorry. I've got a gift card. Yeah, 21-year-old gave me a $20 Bunnings gift card. That is like crazy. He knows that I go to Bunnings. I just wander around for hours, so I look like a handyman. I don't know what to do with a hammer. I'm the opposite from MacGyver. And one of my sons for birthday or Father's Day, I was saying, gives me a gift voucher for Bunnings. I said to him, have you heard of Dan Murphy's? You know, like, okay, so therefore the whole idea is to create a wow factor to take their eyes off the price. Okay. Who is doing that at the moment? Who here in the room is doing something like that at the moment? Working towards it, yeah, well, you are, yeah. But Eddie, who's been taking their prospects' eyes off the price by doing something like that? Okay.
Speaking about that Bunnings voucher, I actually came up with an idea to
Can we turn you up a bit because there's a problem with that microphone? We might just have it closer to your mouth because we can't hear.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. Speaking of the Bunnings voucher, I actually made up a competition because my industry is males and they're all fanatical about their grass. So Bunnings is their currency. And I made up a Facebook competition that they could win a $20 Bunnings voucher by showing me their gadget. So it's a show us your gadget comp.
Is that the way you worded it, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Well done. Good. Yeah.
And it gave me so much more business from that. It just went viral.
Yeah.
And
the gadget went viral.
Just been ongoing.
Yeah.
The money coming in from
there
that.
You go.
And
there you go. So it's a matter
networking.
of getting their eyes off the price. And we had a turf farm on board a few years ago and did exactly the same. We said to the turf farm guy, he was up in the Tamborine Mountains here, who was your target audience? Well, of course, landscapers. And I said to him, what do you think they like? And he said, I don't know, you tell me. And he had seen all my TV commercials with Seinfeld, get a home loan, get a free holiday. So he said, oh, can we do something like that? I said, I don't think Seinfeld's going to do advertising. He said, no, the holiday. I said, well, you don't sell enough to give away holiday. So what we did is that we sent out a mail campaign to 250 landscapers because they're not really big online, you know, sort of email users. So therefore, Old World brochure went out to them. And those that did have email, we sent that out to them. And it just said for every 500 square metres of grass, which is generally speaking a front and backyard, you buy from us, we'll give you a carton of Crown Lager. Now, landscapers are normally drinking 4X or 2s, so Crown Lager is normally for wankers like me with a coat. He had 6 kilometres worth of grass to move because I went and visited him and I said to him, how much grass you got? And he said, mate, as far as the eye can see there and as far as the eye can see there, it was just mountains and mountains and mountains of a turf farm. And he said, mate, they've got to go because I've got to replant for spring, whatever it was. And I said, 6 kilometres? He said, yeah. He said, and he said, the only thing we can do is drop our pants. And he said, every time we drop our pants from $6 a square metre for Sir Walter, whatever it is, the guy down the road will be $5.80, we're $5.60, it's a race to the bottom. And I said, well, fair enough, okay. Well, this is what we'll do. We'll send out a mail campaign and we'll say to them, for every home through the grass, you'll get a carton of Crown Lager. He rang me up 6 days after we sent it out and said, JD, we've got a problem. And I thought, what? He said, we don't have any more grass. It's all gone. I said, what? He said, I'm sourcing turf from other turf farms to keep up with the demand for the beer. He said, I had one guy who was the biggest pain in the backside forever. He would always ring me and say, oh, I can get down the road for $5.50. So he said, I have to drop my pants to $5.40 or $5.30. He said he rang up yesterday, didn't even ask the price, never asked the price. He just said, look, I need 18 homes worth of grass. I don't care when the grass gets here. I need the beer by Friday because I've got a party. So the ultimate landscaper Happy Meal toy happened to be beer. And guess what? The $40 for the carton of Crown Lager, do you think we built that into the price for the grass? You know, the Greater Building Society, get a home loan, get a free holiday, ran for 11 years. And not once did we ever advertise an interest rate, ever. Can you imagine a bank for 11 years not advertising an interest rate for a home loan? And it was the highest interest rate in the world. In the world. We checked it every month. It was the highest home loan interest rate in the world. And every time the senior management said to me, I think we better let's cut the rate by 0.25%. No, you will not cut the rate by 0.25%. We'll up the holiday. So generally speaking, if you took a $500,000 loan, you got to go to the Gold Coast or Fiji or Vanuatu. Now, if you took a $500,000 loan, we sent you to Hong Kong Disneyland because it was a special deal at the time. So instead of when the other banks dropped their pants and we had to meet them, we just upped the holiday. We took them to Disneyland. And again, do you think that took their eyes off the price? Of course. So it's a matter of coming up with a Happy Meal toy that's going to take their eyes off the price. Because if you don't, what else are you going to do? You tell me. Has anyone else got any other ideas here? If you don't have a Happy Meal toy, what else are you going to do? What do you think you're going to do? You're going to? Oh, this is tough, really, seriously. All of you should be ashamed of yourselves. At least you're grimacing sort of thing because you've come all the way from Perth, so at least you think, well, the dad jokes are pretty corny. He looks like he's completely up himself, but I'll give a laugh every now and again because I flew all the way from Perth. So, but the rest of you should be ashamed of yourself. Sorry. Yeah, you're exhausted. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Righto, so problem solution. Oh, God, I hate this. Problem solution. Who at the moment uses problem solution in your advertising? In other words, you're like Nurofen. You show someone with a headache and then they take a tablet and it's gone. Who does that in their business? Okay, well, yeah, Kylie does. You do? Yep. Not many hands up. Okay, so therefore, really it's something that you need to consider. And if you want to know how to do it, just look at Panadol. Just look at Nurofen. And in the old days, what they used to do is show a picture of the box. It was as good as that aluminium fence. They'd have the box rolling forward of the TV screen and they'd say, if you have a headache, Panadol. No. As I said, that would be like Jenny Craig showing a picture of a bowl of rice. It's not about the features, it's about the benefits. So what you'll see now, and we're not going to play it today, but it'll be a school teacher. She's got a headache. The kids are running around in the classroom creating havoc. And she pulls over in the drawer, takes out the Panadol, has a glass of water, and within like 2 seconds, because it's a 30-second ad, all of a sudden the camera comes back to her. She's got blush, she's got lippy, she's gone from a 3 to a 9, okay? And the kids are all well-behaved sitting down. I mean, the tablet even fixes little shithead kids. So why wouldn't you buy it? Why wouldn't you buy it? I went out and bought like a truckload. I saw something online last night. It was something about our vintage, I think, and it said something about, a bit younger than us. It said, we decided not to have kids. We decided, we hate kids and we don't want them. And then it goes on to say, and we're going to tell them that tomorrow. Okay, so be different online. That's a nice way of saying fix your website. Now, I haven't had the time this week because I've been pretty busy, but normally what happens is that when you register for these things, I jump on quickly and have a look at your website so that I can actually insult you when you come here, because most people's websites, which is your director of first impression, are awful, absolutely disgusting. And a lot of the reason for that is you've had your daughter-in-law put them together or your son-in-law put them together, or you know a bloke, or you've gone to a website design person who's normally a bearded hipster and they're evil. And so what's happened is that they are black T-shirts, they've got the ponytail happening, and they're Groovy Gaskell, Bombora, hanging the tube their baby far out surfy, and they've destroyed your business because they've created a shit director of first impressions. Who has a shit website? No, put my hand down, but yeah. Okay. So therefore, yeah, exactly. I'm not even going to bring that up. I'm not even going to bring that up. Homer and I have had quite a few discussions. Okay, so therefore, in the old days, the director of first impressions was little Susie, and she was behind the reception desk, and she'd answer the phone, hello, ABC Accounting. She's number 2 now. Where do we all go to when we're interested to get something off someone? We go to there. Let's do that again. We go to there. Oh, geez, okay, God. We have got a pulse. Okay, so therefore, I'll show you just some transformations in a moment, which will probably blow you away. I don't know whether we have the candy store, do we? Anyway. Okay, so therefore, repetitive trade. Who at the moment feels that they've got a loyalty program underway that makes people sticky? Who's got a loyalty program? Well, again, in the famous words of a famous TV star here in Australia, Skippy, that is wrong, okay? You have to have a loyalty program. You have to have some sort of reward system. because what you want is for people to become sticky. You want them to actually hang around you more often. It's what we call the Netflix model. Who here at the moment has a product that has a Netflix persona to it? In other words, you get paid every month. Okay, well, that's what you should walk away from here today is the, well, a whole bunch of things. My number one Happy Meal toy. You've got to determine what your Happy Meal toy. And I'm going to show you before lunch the one that I've come across in the last 3 or 4 months, which I've never seen before in my life. This thing is suitable for any business. It will just, you know, melt appraisals for you. It'll sell your card really, really easy. I'm just looking around the room. Maria, you had to work for her. And this thing has got nothing at all to do with timeshare, nothing at all to do with that. It's quite incredible where you'll be able to get your hands on holidays to the Southern Hemisphere locations for 7 nights for $97 and give that away to your customers. And I'll show you how to do that, whether you're a coffee shop, whether you're a florist, whether you're selling refrigerators, a removalist, whatever it may be. A removalist the other day rang me up and he said, look, this is insane. He's in Perth, so therefore for him, trips to Bali, a 3-hour flight. He said, there is no contest anymore. He said, what happens is that most people go on to one of these aggregate sites whereby they get 3 quotes when they're looking for a removalist, or you get 3 quotes when you're looking for a water tank supply, whatever it might be. And he said, now what I'll be able to do is you actually get the furniture moved by me, and guess what? You're off to Bali for free. He said, as if I can't build $97 into the 2 or 3 grand that I charge for a removalist. So he's going to be like the Greater Building Society. He'll be the most expensive removalist in probably Australia, but he will just have no competitors because he'll be the only one giving this away because he bought enough of these to get exclusivity. You've got exclusivity on giving a holiday away to these places and you're only paying $97 for it. There is no contest. It is the ultimate Happy Meal toy. So if you thought that you were sick of these dad jokes and we're going to leave it for morning tea, you'll be missing out on a lot. Okay, repetitive trade. What's the best way to do that? Okay, so can anybody close to my vintage remember Reader's Digest back in the day? Okay, that's what we're talking about. My mum, God rest her soul, she passed away a few years ago, but Dad, who also passed away about the same time, used to say to us as we were growing up, he said, I can't stop your mum. She's hooked. We didn't know whether it was drugs or what it was. He was talking about Reader's Digest. And this damn Reader's Digest package will arrive every damn week with all these sad stories and the chance to win $1 million, all that sort of stuff. And I don't know how many years Mum used to do that, but it must have been 30 years, I guess. That's the sort of sticky client that we all want. Who believes that, it'd be really nice if you could just, have more clients to stick around rather than have to go out and look for new ones all the time. Yeah. Okie dokie. These guys have been doing it for about 50 years. Toy in the bottom of the box. And you might argue that because their brand persona now is pretty much, I guess, up there with Disney, then do they still need to do it? Who knows? But they're going to stop it. I know when I left the Greater Building Society in terms of my consultancy, now it was a pretty good consultancy. I scared the shit out of Gail when about 6 or 7 years ago I said, you know what, we're not getting any younger. Why don't we cut up this IP that I've got, this intellectual property, which I think is pretty unique. I haven't seen this sort of shit anywhere else. And we go out and make a fortune out of small businesses. And she said, what? Now, at that time, our 21 and now 23-year-olds were still at school. They were, 14, 15, 16. And she said, just shut up. Just stick to what you're doing. And the reason she said that is because the Greater Building Society at that time was paying me $35K a month, $35,000 a month to provide them with this get a home loan, get a free holiday stuff. And that's an outrageous consultancy fee, $400K a year or something. But guess what? I got Jerry Seinfeld to do their advertising. I know who made more money out of the relationship than me. It was the Building Society. You don't get Jerry Seinfeld every day of the week. So when you put Jerry Seinfeld on top of get a home loan, get a free holiday, you just watch what happens. I mean, it just went through the stratosphere. So whilst they were paying me $400 or something a year, they made billions, like billions and billions of dollars out of me. And if Jerry Seinfeld knew what he added to their business, then he would have charged more than what he was charging, quite frankly. It just went, you put him on top of a free holiday, it's all over. I had to convince him that holidays were vacations. He didn't quite understand that, And so therefore, I remember the general manager of the Greater when this was all going nuts. We're talking about a call centre that had to double and triple in size just to handle the calls. When we got on TV for night time, it would just melt the switchboard the next day. Go to Disneyland, go to Fiji, go to Hawaii. And I remember the general manager, I used to call in maybe once every week and a half, and they just set up an office, an empty office. They really, sort of treated me like royalty. They gave me just an empty office, was sitting there for when I went down. Their head office was in Newcastle, so when I went there, they just have an office. And the general manager would pop his head in the door every now and again, and he was just ecstatic that this thing was just going and going and going. And one day he said to me, JD, I just want to ask you something. You know what? This Get a Free Holiday has been running for years now, and it's fantastic. What do you think would happen if we just stop it for a while? We just stop the holiday for a while. We're giving away between $6 and $10 million worth of holidays a year, by the way. And you can imagine the travel agent that got that gig. Tell you what, they gave me a carton of Crown Lager every Christmas, yeah. And he said, what do you think will happen if we just stop it? Because we've got some momentum going now, the brand name's out there, this, that, and the other. I said, I don't know, I've got my finger here on the stop button. You want to stop it? And he goes, no. But what would happen? I said, I don't know, let's try it. Why don't we just stop it? He goes, have a nice day. They weren't going to stop it. And if you're on a carpet ride, a magic carpet ride like that, you ain't going to stop it. So these guys here may not need to put a toy in the box these days because they've got a brand. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, they're not going to stop it. They're not going to stop it in a hurry. Okay, these guys, this is something I used to do 1,000 years ago. I was the national marketing guy in the Woolworths empire, and we used to borrow a lot of stuff out of Tesco in the UK, big retail chain. And anyone our vintage might remember, what would happen is every time you spent $5, you put it onto a saver sheet, which was like about this size, and Billy's book was about that size. And when you saved up 20 stamps, then you'll be able to buy that cookware for ridiculously low prices. It's called a self-liquidator. In other words, Woolworths don't have to spend any money on it because you are buying the cookware and the glassware from them pretty much for the China import prices they brought in for. This thing went nuts, absolutely nuts. It's what we call a continuity scheme or, you know, basically a repetitive trade stimulant. That's what you need for your business. Who would love to have something like that whereby it just ticks over? They're not thinking about price. They're not thinking about going to any of your competitors. They're certainly not going onto high pages to get 3 or 4 quotes. Who thinks that would do a good job for their business? One person, thank you. I'm not just disappointed, I'm seriously disappointed in all of you. This table here is not bad. Not so much that table.
Last too long, JD.
Sorry?
I still had some.
Do you still have that?
From my mum.
Really? Oh, because Crown Corning. Yeah.
So they didn't make them break.
They should have been break. Because Crown Corning they were, so they are good. You're right, yeah. Okay, so that's what that looked like. These guys have been doing it forever. There you go. And by the way, when you do have a continuity program, and I'm good friends with the people who do all this for McDonald's. They're called Creative Promotion. And yeah, we messed around with them for quite some time. And when you're doing this sort of stuff, do you notice that you've got to collect Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Pluto, Donald, and Daisy? It's not just get one, okay? So that's the whole idea of it. You're looking at a guy that took over the rugby league bubblegum cards from Scanlon's Bubblegum. And so therefore, I know a little bit about teasing and creating chase mechanisms. So of course, what we would do with the football cards when we took it over from Scanlon's Bubblegum, and it was the Tina Turner era, she was there simply the best. But we took that from $2 million to $12 million in 1 year. Because all I did is I just went into the Sunday papers and said, how would you like 2 million football cards to drop out of your Sunday paper this week? And they went, wow, the Sunday Telegraph, we will have, and Sun Herald won't have it. I said, no, exclusive to you. And they go, well, what do you want for that? I'm just getting free insertion and free sampling, for God's sake, worth, you know, a fortune. What do you want for that? I said, nothing. I just want to help Rupert Murdoch. Because, you know, my name is JD Mother Teresa. I'm here to help you sell more newspapers. So I knew that unless there was World War III, guess what was on the front page of the paper that week? Get your free Mal Meninga football cards. And they spend $300,000 on TV telling you to buy the paper to get your football cards. Talk about, you know, 2 million cards at a cent each cost me 20 grand. So for 20 grand, I got $500,000 worth of advertising, and those football cards on the news agency shelf just went, that's avalanche. That's avalanche. So I want you to walk away from here today, or pretty soon actually, because you're the worst audience I've ever had. But nonetheless, walk away from here and just think avalanche. Do not think onesie-twosies. You see what I've tried to do, and there's exceptions to it. If you're wearing a gold watch, I probably will have a meeting with you. But when people say to me, oh, JD, they'll sit here all day, suck up all this, what I think is pretty unique stuff, and at the end of it, buy nothing from me because they're cheapskates. And then they'll actually say to me, oh, can I shout you coffee throughout the week? What do they expect I'm going to say? Oh my God, a coffee. That'd be $4. Of course I want to come and just spill my guts for a coffee. Absolutely, anytime, any day. So the thing is that if you're scaling, then you never answer dumb questions like that, okay? And you never ever have another meeting. You don't want to have meetings. I mean, if your hit rate is 1 in 2, you've still got to have 10 meetings to get 5 jobs. Do this. Do Facebook Live. Do LinkedIn Live. You know, who at the moment is doing Facebook Lives? One? Greg, I know you are, yeah. Okay, and when people say to me, oh, look, you know, I do one a fortnight, I just go, don't even bother doing it. Oh, we do one a week, don't even bother doing it. One a day, don't even bother doing it. If you're not going to do 6 or 7 or 10 a day, don't even bother doing it, all right? Because this thing is your own TV station. Everyone's got a TV in their pocket. And we had 1 week, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago it probably was, we took $120,000 in sales in 1 week just from Facebook Live. Just from Facebook Live. Because I'm not real fussed on doing this, to be honest with you. I mean, we do 3 of these a year for our members and we invite a few guests along, but you know, the thing is, it's the Partridge Family show. You've got to jump and you know, pull up these banners, you know, set up the room and put coffee on and pretend you love people. Oh, well, you love people. It's so much easier to turn that damn phone on and just talk to 300, 400, 500, 1,000. We had one when I did up in Darwin there a couple of months ago. I bagged out their little crocodile theme park. What was it called? Crocodilus or something? And it was some really weird thing. I turned the camera on and had a bit of a laugh about it. And guess what? 5,000? 5,000 views. So yeah, you don't have to actually do this sort of stuff if you get into social media. I think they might have owned Crocodilus, I'm not sure. Okay, so that's McDonald's. And you know the very basic of collecting stuff, of course, is the coffee shop. Who goes to a coffee shop that has one of these things? Yep, okay. Okay, and of course Woolworths, as you know, are doing the 4 cents a litre. They've been doing that since 1996 and they're continuing to do it. And KFC, okay, you've seen them all. Who has been involved in running any sort of reward scheme though? Who's had a reward scheme? No one? Okay, oh yeah. This is an interesting one. Some years ago, what we did is that we put that poster out in the Sunday paper. It was about the size of that whiteboard there, and it was all the Disney characters coming down the street. That artwork cost me $26,000 just for that artwork, okay? But to give you an idea how spectacular that artwork was seen by Disney, Walt Disney's daughter ordered half a dozen of them. Walt Disney's daughter, okay? And she said it was the best Disney poster she's ever seen. You can just vaguely see that there's sticker spaces all around the outside of that. Can you see the little ear shapes? That's where the money was. We made $500,000 in 4 weeks out of that poster. Don't feel too good for me because we lost it on the Flintstones about a month later. I should have stuck with Disney. But when you put out the mousetrap, excuse the pun, which was a free poster with the Sunday paper, what do you think we put with it? 2 stickers. And so what happened is that little Johnny put a sticker here and put a sticker up there. What do you think he screamed at Mum? I want more stickers. The only way he could get the more stickers was to actually Mum to buy the daily paper for the next 4 weeks, clip the coupon and go to the news agency with 50 cents for my 1 cent sticker. We had a little bit of margin in that 50 cent sticker, okay? And that's why we could make some good money out of it. And this is all about what we call repetitive trade. You give them a sticker there and a sticker up there, they're dead in the water, they're gone, okay? It's just like McDonald's handing out the one free toy. It's getting people into a repetitive spending pattern. Okay, this is not working, by the way. I don't know whether you know that. Yeah.
Something that occurs to me just from having a look at that old stuff. You showed the old collecting the saucepans, right? And I know I've seen over the years they've done, you know, crockery or cutlery sets.
Lion King and now plants.
But why now is it that then, I mean, it's an interesting thing is that those olden day ones, because they're pretty old, aimed at the adult. So they aimed primarily at the woman.
Yep.
Now they're for the kids, but it's still the adult. And I'll tell you what I mean by that is it's the parents that are in there shopping and then trading these things online through Gumtree, etc., to get the full collection. So, but why are they not now aiming at adult items? Why do you think that it's all pretty much like the squishies and the little?
Yep.
Everything is kids.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just interested to know why they have not brought back in an adult promotion.
Yep. Yeah. Look, the reason is, and you're talking to someone who's done okay out of what we call pop culture, which are 8 through to 16-year-olds, okay? And the 8 through to 16-year-olds will be able to have pester power. That, mummy, I want to go to Dreamwood, I want to go to Dreamwood, I want this, I want that. We've got a little 3-year-old grandson and he's our daughter's little boy, and he'll say to Gail or me, can I have this, can I have that? And we'll just say, oh, a butterfly, and walk off. And we've just, easy to say, oh yeah, we'll think about that. I'll think about that means no. You can't do that to an 8-year-old. Can't do that to a 9-year-old. They'll still want to go to Dreamworld. Can we go to Dreamworld? Can we go to Dreamworld? Can we get the Disney toy at Woolworths? Can we get the plants at Woolworths? Can we do that at Woolworths? So therefore, that's the audience that you want to chase. And what we found, I thought it was another disgruntled member. I was going to say, just leave like that did. So therefore the thing is that I would always vote to go towards the children. I reckon that's the winner all the time. This thing here that you're seeing here, don't be surprised if you see that in Woolworths next year at some stage. So, aim it up. Good, mate. Do I have to do it like that? Yeah, right. But yeah, these are all Pester Power products because it's easier to get that age group to pester mum and dad because you just can't say no to them. I mean, you just can't say no. You can refrain from getting the cookware because you think, oh, well, I really do want to go to Coles because they've got something else there. I'm not going to worry about it. But you try saying no to an 8-year-old, 9-year-old. And this was another example. I've done quite a few courses at Disney, and I don't know whether you know, but Disney have a university in all of their theme parks or next to them, and it's called basically the Disney Institute, and you can pay 5 to 10 grand and spend a week with their Imagineers, and it's like unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And so I've done a number of those, fly over Florida and spend time with the Disney Imagineers, and it's an environment like this, and you've got to sign a form before you come into the room, which says that throughout the week you are there, you will never utter the words, that'll never work. Because when you're in little brainstorms like this, someone comes up with a crazy idea, there's always going to be an accountant or a lawyer or some stick in the mud that's going to go, oh, but that'll never, excuse me, you signed the form, okay? You can't say that'll never work. And at these events, I remember on one occasion, I said to one of the Disney Imagineers, look, what is something that's never failed? And he said, okay, well, let me think about that. He said, wildlife, because obviously Disney was built on wildlife, but he said, outer space is pretty good. But he said, the thing that's never, ever failed is dinosaurs. He said, because they're on school curriculum. Now, this was just pre-Jurassic Park, Spielberg. I went, okay, yeah. He said, look, dinosaurs, 60% boys, 40% girls, and that's good because Pocahontas is 90-10 girls. So you don't want to go for something that's why it's Beauty and the Beast, it's not just the Beast, all right? So therefore, Disney have been pretty smart with all their movies, except Pocahontas, in my opinion, because that one struggled for a little while. It's like iconic now, but yeah, it struggled for a little while because it was girls. So in this instance here, this is boys and girls, and it's on the school curriculum. So I came back, put together this album. Do we have it here? No, we don't, but anyway. No, sorry, we don't. Okay. So therefore, it went out with the Sunday paper, and of course, we gave them the first 2 stickers. What do you think they had to do? They had to actually buy the paper then for the next 4 weeks and give me 50 cents for the 1 cent sticker. Again, $500,000 profit, I think it was. Oh no, 720 profit. And then this one came along. And we just did the same thing. I won't bore you with all the details, but we just put them out through the newspapers, and the rest is history. I went from 2 million to 12 million in 1 year at retail. And then we got into these sorts of things here, and these are scratch bingo games. We did all the scratch bingos for the newspapers. And the reason I'm thrusting this down your throat, you're not going to do scratch bingos, I know that, but I'm showing you how you can actually develop a mindset whereby you produce marketing campaigns that get people to taste your product and then get hooked on your product. Okay, so if I had a coffee shop, what do you think I'd be handing out in little shot glasses outside the coffee shop at lunchtime and dinner time? What do you think I'd be handing out? Coffee samples. No coffee shop ever does that. If I had a fish and chip shop, I'd be handing out calamari samples at lunchtime and dinner time, but nobody does that. You'll see them all just sitting in their fish shop waiting for someone to come in. Nobody samples. What do you think these sorts of functions are? It's all about sampling. It's crazy. It's just nuts. Nobody samples. So in this instance here, what we did is that we just got New Idea and TV Week involved, and I put up the money for the prizes, and then we said, can you drop out a couple of million of these cards? And then when the housewife got them, she had to ring 0055 every day to pick up today's bingo numbers. And then at midnight tonight on Monday, it clicked over to Tuesday's numbers, and she'd have to ring back again and get those numbers and scratch them out. We made sure that every woman in Australia by Wednesday had 3 of the 4 numbers she needed to win 50 grand. Do you think she rang up on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday? Now, at this time, the most number of phone calls that were ever recorded in Australia, 800 0055 network, was a political poll against two of the leaders, and they had 39,000 calls in 3 days, 39,000 calls. And the company that we were dealing with here, a company called Telad, said, look, you'll never get anywhere near that. That was on Current Affair, so 39,000 calls. This was pre-Australian Idol, okay? And I went, oh, okay, fair enough. On the first week of this, we got 812,000 phone calls, okay? 812, I've got the Telstra records. When people go, oh, that's bullshit. No, I've got the records, right? 812,000 calls. And I forget what we're getting, 12 cents, 14 cents a call, whatever it might be. But again, I would just be having coffee with Gail on a Saturday morning. I knew how many calls were coming through every hour because we had a spreadsheet. I look at my watch, very arrogantly, of course, and go, oh, it's 10 o'clock. In the last 2 hours, we just made 20 grand, you know, because these calls were just coming through, people trying to get their bingo numbers. That's repetitive stimulant. That's repetitive trade. And you won't be running bingo games, but I'll show you how you can actually, before lunch today, I'll be showing you how you can do it. And how you will be able to do it for less than a couple of grand. Yeah, there it is there. Okay, yeah, we did make a bit of money. I forgot how much we made. The reason I forget how much we make in these is because then the next project after that, I lose it on some stupid thing. So try and listen to the advice that I give you for the things that worked, okay? Okay, and then we did the same thing with Channel 9. I won't go through all of that. Same thing, we boosted their ratings by dropping that out around Australia, and then you had to watch Channel 9 to get your call routine and you scratch it out. Channel 9 went from 19 rating points to 41, which is state of origin numbers, by the way, when they did this. Okay, there it is, 26, right? I thought it was 19 to 41, 26 to 41. Okay, this is something you want to consider. Never, ever, 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 ever run another contest. Never, ever run a contest. And this is coming from someone who is probably the king of contests in Australia. I don't think anyone would have run any more contests than me. I've done every scratch bingo you could think of. I've done fast food promotions like your KFCs and your McDonald's, Women's Weekly, Women's Day. I was employed by Packer to really put a rocket up Women's Day and Women's Weekly, Burke's Backyard, all those magazines. And I would never, ever run another contest. And anyone want to know why? Okay, sorry? Good, I'm glad someone did say that. It's going to be pretty lonely 5 minutes up. And I would have just stayed here maybe for an hour just to stir you. Who here has entered a contest in the last week? There's the answer, okay? Maria, your security will come and take you away. You're going to completely screw up this story. Yeah, yeah. The fact of the matter is that there's very, very, very few cases where a contest will stimulate you to buy something unless it is $1 million, or at least, you know, $100,000 or $200,000. And the reason why is that we've all been spoilt by Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Deal or No Deal and all those TV shows. Who the hell's going to go out of their way to, you know, buy something for the chance to win? It's just not going to happen, okay? And well, it will, but you're going to attract prize pigs, and that's not the audience that you're after, I would suspect. So what you want to do is what we did with the Greater Building Society, and that is you buy, you get. That's it. You buy, you get. And that's what McDonald's do. If McDonald's said buy a Happy Meal and you got the chance to win a toy, I don't think that's going to actually work for them. And I remember sitting in the boardroom at the Greater Building Society, and the whole lot of, you know, sort of stiff upper lip sort of accountancy sort of guys in their suits. And I'd been there for a month, and I had put together a bit of a time and motion study on the Building Society, and their marketing was pretty lame. It was pretty ordinary. And I said to them, look, I've got an idea here, and I threw a Happy Meal box in the middle of the boardroom table. Now that got their attention, and I think I'd been to one too many Anthony Robbins seminars where he said break the mold. You know, well that certainly broke the mold because this sarcastic marketing consultant had been there only a month, and he throws a Happy Meal box on the table, and they said to me, look, what's that all about? And I said, well, I just want to get your attention. Who in the room here has got children or grandchildren? Now this is in a boardroom. And pretty much they all put their hand up. And I said, okay. I pulled the toy out of the box and I said, this is going to fix your home loans. And they went, get a home loan, get a free Disney toy. I went, no, metaphorical, okay? Just stick with me. Can I ask any one of you who have bought all of Happy Meals forever, how much is a Happy Meal? They didn't get within $1. They never even got within $1 of the Happy Meal. Because I pulled out a $100 note because you're talking to bankers, and I said, you know, this will get you going. I'll give $100 to anyone that can tell me what a Happy Meal cost. No one got anywhere near it, because McDonald's took their eyes off the price. And then I said, listen, at the moment, what is your acquisition scheme? What do you think most banks use as an acquisition scheme at the moment? Think about it. It's called a honeymoon rate. They use a honeymoon rate, which let's just say, I know interest rates are just about nothing now, but let's just say interest rates at the time were 5%. they would offer for the first 12 months 4%, and then it comes back up to 5%. Now that 1% in that first 12 months, if it's a $500,000 loan, is $5,000. I said to them, okay, I'm going to put this thing on steroids and it's going to be cost neutral. We're going to pick up that $5,000 and instead of giving it to Betty Bankstown and her husband, we're going to give that to a wholesale travel agency who will give you an $8,000 holiday for $5,000 because it's a wholesale rate. And they went, oh no, we'll give it a shot. And they said, well, we'll give you a rope for 3 months. We'll give you 3 months. In that 3 months, they doubled. We're not talking like a 12%. I mean, if a bank goes up 12% of their home loans, they go to the pub for the afternoon. We're talking double. And then it quadrupled within 18 months, okay? Get a home loan, get a free holiday. That's all it was. We never said any more than those 6 words or 8 words, whatever the hell it is. Get a home loan, get a free holiday. And that's another thing you want to make sure that you do, and that is the KISS principle. Whatever you come up with whatever Happy Meal toy bonus you come up with, make sure it's the KISS principle. Keep it simple. Now, when you are thinking about giving stuff away, if it's a contest, just do an insured promotion. We do them all the time for clients, and that's $100,000. You can get that from the insurance company for about $2,200. I can get you $250,000 for $4,000. I can get you $1 million for $16,000. Okay, so therefore, just use the insured promotions, and that means you pay the insurance company, and they'll give you $1 million for $16,000. And then at the end of that contest, there will be 250 envelopes at the draw, and that person picks one of them. Inside one of them will be the $1 million, and inside the others is a motor car or whatever it is. All right. By the way, Channel 9 gives no money away. That money is all given away by Lloyd's of London. That's all insured. Okay, so none of these TV stations have to fork out with the money. Now, if you said to me, would the chance to win 100,000 or $500,000 beat giving away these with the product? No, not a chance. Look at something. I've done all this stuff. I've done the whole lot of it, right? This here, petrol, movie tickets and holidays is all you want to think about. If you have an over 18 product, you might throw alcohol in there, and I'm not being funny, I'm being serious. Alcohol will win. So if you have an adult product, I've had butchers on board where they basically said, for every $50 you spend with me, I'll give you a point. And when you save up 10 points, I'll give you a carton of Crown Lager or half a dozen beautiful wines. So therefore, guess what? If you spent $50 and you get a point, and then every 10 points, you would have spent how much over 10 points? You would have spent $500. What does a carton of beer cost? $50. What's $50 as a percentage of the 500? Do you think if you put a sign outside his door that said 10% off meat, that anyone would be rushing in, let alone sticking with him? Not a chance. So all we're doing here, psychologically, is picking up a 10% discount and turning it into a Happy Meal toy. And I'm telling you, if you walk away from here today and do this, you'll be no contest. You won't have any contest at all. There's nobody will do this, because most of Australia's business owners are suffering from this awful disease called dicketitis, okay? They're just dropping their prices all the time, and they're not thinking how to get people into a repetitive trade stimulus. Groupon give 50%. So why in the hell would anyone be the least bit interested in 10%? So why do you even think about dropping your price? Because you're never going to match this place called Amazon. Amazon are here to wipe all of us out. They've come from, I don't know, Jupiter. They've come from another planet, and they're here as aliens to wipe us all out. And if you think you're going to win on price, then you are seriously delusional. You've got to have a Happy Meal toy. Why do you think those 3 things work, by the way? Anybody want to take a stab at that? For $1 million?
They're everyday items that everybody uses.
Bingo. Bingo. If I gave you a refrigerator, you'd probably say to me, JD, look, thank you very much. By the way, my name's John Dwyer, but I refer to myself as JD because everyone else does. You'd say, oh, JD, look, thanks for the refrigerator, but we've got one in the garage for our beer and wine, and we've got one in the kitchen. We don't need another. Oh, I'll give you a plasma TV, or whatever they're called now, HD. Oh, we've got 3 TVs. Oh, what about lawnmower? No, I've got a lawnmower. And I can go on and on. If you walk down the stairs from Fiji, and I'm there, and I give you another week in Fiji, you'll go back up the stairs in the plane and go back again, won't you? We can't get enough holidays, all right? We can't get enough petrol discounts, and we can't get enough movie tickets. And some, you know, if you're over 18 audience, you can't get enough alcohol. Maybe I'm just talking about myself. Do not go down the path of anything else. The turf farm now doesn't really need my help. I wish he did. John Kelleher, his name is, and he is now basking in the glory of that one idea I gave him. And that's what pisses me off when people come to these things, and at the end of it, they go, oh, look, I'm not going to join your program, but can I shout your coffee throughout the week? Do you realise what you've just walked away with here? And you still want to milk the shit out of me for a coffee? I don't think so. So the thing is, this is all like incredible. I don't care whether I sound like a show off or not. This is incredible knowledge that you won't get anywhere else, because if you go to an advertising agency, they're going to tell you to sponsor the Brisbane Broncos and maybe piss $500,000 up against the wall. Or because you happen to be a small business, they'll say, you know what? You want to get your name out there, so you should sponsor your little daughter's under 12 netball team. When was the last time you were at one of your children's soccer matches or the netball and you're looking at the back of the jersey, taking down the butcher's name and number? Excuse me, number 3, could you just stop for a minute? I want to see who the sponsor is. And this is being pissed up against the wall every single day. Who here has ever bought anything off the side of a bus? Anybody? Anybody bought anything off the back of a taxi? No. Does anybody even remember what the ads are on the football ground where the fence goes around? No. And yet there's millions and millions and millions of dollars being wasted on all that rubbish every single week because they don't understand direct response marketing. Okie dokie. We're going to break for morning tea in about, what time is it now? Is it? I didn't think it was anywhere near 11. Okay, yep. Yeah, sure, mate. Is it a stupid one or is it a good question?
We'll soon find out, won't we? How would you, I don't know if you're going to cover this later, but just as I'm thinking now with in relation to those, the holidays and the movies and et cetera, what if it's a product like ours, which is bought once and then it's a yearly renewal?
Yep.
So we're not looking for someone to buy something every week or every month, and there's no repetitive. There's only one repeat. Sorry, and
yours would be based on referrals. So if you've got if you've got a product which is only an annual renewal, which that's fine. That's the way it is. Then you would probably give rewards like we're just talking about based on referrals. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Well, look, what we will do then is because Errol, that was actually a good question. I was hoping it would be a stupid one so that we could actually break for morning tea on a laugh, but I'll wait for Gail to come back in. So she'll tell me what to do. We're breaking? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I'm being sarcastic. She's got a microphone and she's got it down here, so, and she's 20 minutes time. And she. Okay, so therefore, this happened to be something I did quite a long time ago, and it was a mob who are not here these days. They went back to Europe, and they were out of Sydney, and they were called Aussie Breaks, and they ran this promotion called Hotel Check, and basically what happened, they weren't doing this. I got together with them and I said, what are you doing? They said, oh, we get these, sort of rooms from hotels all around Australia, and they're happy to give us the hotel room if you have breakfast and dinner at the hotel. You got to understand that when some people say to me, oh, hang on, so they've got to have breakfast and dinner at the hotel, so much for the free room. I go, it's not called the Sheraton Mother Teresa Resort, okay? Of course, there's a commercial reality to this, you idiot. They just don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, how do we destroy our business? I know, we just give away the whole hotel room. So obviously, there is a condition. That's what these damn things are. It just amazes me with these people ask some stupid questions. The newspaper has special deals. You've got to buy the newspaper, So in this instance here, they had negotiated with a couple of hundred hotels around Australia that they would participate in this deal, whereby they would give free accommodation, but you had to have dinner and breakfast at the hotel, which is not a big ask because if you're like us and you're travelling, though, you have dinner that night and you have breakfast before you leave next morning. Right? And they were not selling it retail. They were just giving it to Harvey Norman to give away with a TV. So they would, basically this sort of style I'm going to show you after morning tea, they would say to Harvey Norman or Nick Scali or any of those furniture places or businesses like that, look, why don't you buy from us 5 nights at any one of these 200 hotels, and we'll sell that to you for X dollars, and then you give that away with a TV this weekend. Because so Harvey Norman will come on and say, look, our $1,000 TV is the same as a $1,000 TV across the road, but we're going to give you 5 nights in Australian hotels. Which one's going to win? The one with the Happy Meal toy, of course, right? I said, look, I think we can take this another step. And they said, why? I said, look, I have a mate who runs a distressed media business. Anybody familiar with distressed media? Okay. The Gold Coast Bulletin here on the Gold Coast tomorrow, if you took a full page, will cost you between $5,000 and $7,500, depending upon who you are. I've never paid more than $1,500 for a full page. And the reason is because we understand distressed media. Distressed media is like what the airlines used to do before Jetstar came along, and that was, remember, you'd go into the standby lounge, and if there was empty seats at the very end, they'd call you. That doesn't happen now with cheap airlines, but that was distressed seats. So I have a mate who for many years just stands outside Channel 9 on a Friday and yells out, "Bring out your dead." And that means that whatever space they have not sold, they don't want to let anyone know, but they give it to distressed media experts who then flog it to people like me for $100 for a $1,000 ad. Okay, so, you know, I get offered full page in the Sunday Mail newspaper that's normally 25 grand. They'll ring me up and say it's yours for $2 because Coca-Cola just pulled out. We've either got to run a house ad or we give it to someone for $2 grand. And I normally say to them at 3 o'clock, "When's your deadline?" And they say 5. I say, "You bring me back at 10 to 5. Okay? Because you never buy a car unless it's the 30th of the month, and you never buy media unless it's 5 to 5, because then they're getting close to print deadline and you can just name your price, all right? So what happened is I said to these guys here, okay, well, how about we bundle up 10 nights of this accommodation and I'll flog it on TV for $99 because I'll be able to buy ads all around Australia for $50 a time. You know, we're getting Kerry Ann Kenley sort of infomercials in the morning on TV for hundreds of dollars that are normally selling for 6, 7 grand. And that's what we did. We just bought every blank space we could on TV. And these days you would obviously get better rates because TV's hurting big time now. This was some years back. And we just, I just got a little home and away starlet. I think her name, Holly Brisley, was that her name? Yeah. So she was a star of Home and Away or something like that. And I got her to face the commercial, typical infomercial. With an infomercial, what you do is you give them a problem. Is it too expensive to travel and you really would love to? Then you give them a solution, which is Panadol. Well, guess what? We've got 10 nights for $99, you know? And then basically because you're running a 3-minute commercial, you tell them and then you tell them and then you tell them again and then you tell them again, just in case they didn't hear you, tell them again and tell them again and then you tell them again. And then you give them the phone number 16 times. And this thing was answered by Danos Direct. This will show you how hot holidays are. 10 nights for $99. So this is direct to the consumer. This is not being given away to something. They just saw this on Kerry Ann Kenley. The Danos Direct, people are familiar if you've watched any infomercials there, the telephone centre. The lady that ran it, I'll never forget, she had a name which I thought she made up. Her name was Liz Dials, would you believe? Her name was Liz Dials. I said, "You're taking the piss." That was really her name, Liz. And so she said to me 3 days into it, "This is the biggest thing we have ever seen. We have never seen anything like. We've had ab swings, we've had the George Foreman barbecue, we've had all these other bits and pieces. We've never seen anything like this. This holiday thing is nuts." I said, "Well, it's a holiday." This was pre the Greater, by the way. And when I stumbled across this, then I knew what we could do with the Greater Building Society. There's nothing more powerful than a free holiday. We were getting commission checks at the time because I was just getting a percentage of all of this. I did it for free, but I was getting a percentage. We were getting checks, what, 30, 50 grand a month, wasn't it? Just for my reasonably small percentage. This thing went nuts, absolutely nuts. The company was run by some European guys who ended up going back to Europe. I don't know why, but they did. And I'm only showing that to you to demonstrate the power of holidays. Oh, okay, I didn't realise we had the ad. This is the ad. Is it? There is no ad, is there? Five nuns walk into a nude bar. By the way, that was terrible. Did you? That's being serious for a minute. In Hollywood, there was a stabbing this morning. Somebody stabbed an actress, Reese. No, with a knife. Give me a high five. Give me a high five. That is the ultimate bad dad joke, isn't it? Right. Here we go.
Particularly when you can stay somewhere special. Now you can stay in a lovely hotel like this for less than $5 per person per night. It's holiday accommodation with hotel check.
Can we get some volume?
Over 200 hotels around Australia are involved in this brilliant offer, and they are all easy to find in this hotel check directory. That's over 200 fabulous holiday properties where you can have a great break for less than $5.
Okay, you get the message. Okay, we won't worry about it because it's not loud enough anyway. Okay, so then once I'd experienced how powerful this holiday stuff was, and I got the contract to look after the Greater, which I was there for 11 years, that's what we did. We knew that people were pretty angry with their banks. In fact, 44% of them, our bank customers, were disgruntled. And I said to these guys, and this is something really important for you, really important for all of us in business, I said to them, who are you going for? They said, oh, people who are going out to get a home loan. Well, dough. But guess what? Only less than 4% of people woke up this morning and decided that they might go and get a home loan. Less than 4% of Australians. Less than 4% of Australians woke up this morning thinking about your product or service. That's just the stats. Less than 4% of people wake up with a decision today they're going to buy a lawnmower, a motor car, a washing machine, whatever it may be. So do you want to go for that 4%, which means that if you're advertising big time on TV like these guys, you're going to waste 96% of every dollar you spend, or would you rather widen the funnel? And the statistics were that 44% of people were disgruntled with their banks. The banks had a very high dissatisfaction levels, probably even higher now. So we broadened the audience to 44%. So we came on and we said, just swap your home loan and get a new holiday. Big, big difference. There's a big difference to saying just get a home loan, get a free holiday, just swap your home loan. We just broadened the audience, and that's what you want to do, okay? So therefore, I don't know that we're going to be able to play the TV commercials. We've got no sound, but these were the brochures and letterbox brochures. You'll see there that $200,000 loan. You could go to those places, $250,000 loan, $300,000 loan. If you took out $1 million loan, you went around the world, 5-star. But of course, keep in mind the Greater Building Society was the highest interest rate of any bank in the world at that stage. Not working, unfortunately. This is a speaker's nightmare, of course, but okay. I'll get through to the commercials if we can. I might have to, here we go, right here.
We stayed at the Brits on Wallgate, and as I said, it was just wonderful. We opened the door and there it was, right over the beach and right over the city lights, and we couldn't believe our eyes, really.
Get a home loan from the Greater Building Society and choose yourself a free holiday. No catches, no competitions. Call the Greater on 13 13 86. For me and you.
Now, direct response has a bad rap because generally speaking, people refer to direct response as Kerry Ann sort of commercials where they shout at you, because you're all pretty familiar with Rugs A Million, aren't you? It's a 48-hour sale, Rugs A Million, we're going to go broke this weekend, so we've got to get rid of all these rugs. If we don't go broke this weekend, we'll probably go broke next weekend, so you better get in this weekend. That's what people think direct response is. It doesn't have to be. It can be Cliff Richard just having a nice little song, you all deserve a summer holiday, okay? So it's all about making sure that your message and your market matches. You see, people say to me, oh, but isn't this down and dirty? I go, no. If the Palazzo Versace's marketing girl was a little bit older and not using Proactive, they probably wouldn't be dropping their pants so often to Sydney and Melbourne people saying, come up to the Gold Coast throughout the winter because it's warmer weather and we'll drop our prices at the Palazzo Versace. Do you reckon that that is the silliest thing to do, to drop your prices? Of course it is. That's why you're going to be able to get what I'm going to show you after morning tea here, because these hotels don't want to drop their prices. They want to actually get rid of their dead rooms under the radar. And this is the way they do it. I'll show you how to do it. But in this instance, the Palazzo Versace could practice direct response if they just understood it, instead of just quickly dropping their pants when they want to fill rooms. What they would do is that they say, anyone from Sydney or Melbourne, when you're coming up, why don't you think about coming up to the Gold Coast? Because if you do, then what we will do is that we will actually pick you up from the airport in a gold Rolls Royce. They've got two of them sitting outside the hotel doing nothing most of the time, right? And we'll give you your own personal butler service for the weekend. Now, that'll get used once or twice to polish their shoes or, you know, turn down the bed or something like that, but you've got your own butler. And we'll give you free tickets to go to the casino show or to Dreamworld or something like that. Now, that'll cost them a way less than dropping their prices by 50%, but which one retains their brand? The value add incentive or dropping their pants? So you should never, ever, ever do the first temptation, which of course is, you know, cutting your price. Okay, so therefore, I think we might have another one here. No, well, yeah, we'll finish this. If I can get anything to work, we're not. Can you just... 5 nuns walk into a bar, okay. Can I ask you this whilst we're just, yeah, sorry, David, yeah. Sorry, when are you? The 5 nuns into the bar, there is no rest of them, I'm just trying to kill time, yeah. Sorry? Yeah, okay, well, that's probably a good segue whilst we wait for the slide to come up. But yeah, look, we had Robin Williams, I got Robin Williams first, and what had happened is that the Greater Building Society's home loan thing had been running for about 7 years, and the general manager called me in one day and he said, look, we think we've scooped up all the low-lying fruit. Now, building societies, to be fair, have a working class audience. So out of the 330,000 members that they have of the Building Society, there were only 12 of them who had teeth. They tend to have a working class audience. Building societies and credit unions, that's the way they are. And that audience are the easiest in the world to take their eyes off the price. The Greater had 2 branches in Sydney, which we're in North Shore sort of suburbs, your Mossmans and your Manleys. We never ran the holiday promotion there, okay? Because they're going to say, look, don't give me the holiday, I want the interest rate cut. So why bother wasting your time, all right? But in Bankstown and Parramatta and places like that, yeah. So therefore, I'll have to say to you that it is easier to take the eyes off the price for general working class people. That's just the way it is. If someone's an academic, then they're more than likely going to be rather interrogative of whatever offer you've got. But thank goodness, do you know that 95% of the world's wealth is held by 5% of the world? So there ain't that many people out there that would be in the category that this would not suit, all right? So don't worry about that. And if they are academics and they are in that higher income level, you just do what I just told you with the Versace. It's still direct response, but it's aimed at their audience. A butler, you've got a butler service for the weekend, thank you very much, right? So the thing is that the Greater said to me, look, where to from here? And I said, well, you want to turn this up, do you? And they said, yeah. And I said, righto, let me think about it. So a mate of mine was doing Billy Connolly at the time with the ING ads. Anybody familiar with those? Okay. And I said to him, how did you do that? He said, oh, we just pay him $1.5 million and we go and meet him wherever he is in the world twice a year and we shoot the commercial. Wherever he is in the world, we just make it easy for him. Oh, okay. So I contacted, so we put out a survey. So, you know, I don't watch much TV, ironically. So we put out a survey and said, what personality or sports star, preferably a personality because sports stars are dangerous for the reasons that you know, okay? So therefore, what personality or sports star suits the cheeky brand persona that we had created? So we created a brand persona which was Virgin-esque. I purposely did that because we needed to be different from the other boring credit unions and building society. So we, you know, basically all the ads would have customers on there and they'd say, oh, you know, I got away from my bank because they charged me all these fees and charges and they treated me like a number instead of a person. I came across to the Greater, they treated me really well. The kids get smiles at the bank and piggy buy, and we get a free holiday to Fiji. So there was nothing to think about. I mean, people would just go, I hate my bank, I'm going to swap. And I said, okay, well, look, the fast way of doing this, because I said, do you want wild or mild? Which normally I ask most of my clients, and thankfully they said wild, because I don't even do mild, okay? And so therefore I said, why don't we get a personality? My mate's doing Billy Connolly, why don't we chase? So we put a survey out and said, who do you think would be the ideal spokesperson for the Greater? We put it out to 1,000 people online, 1,000 people in the members. I was hoping we'd get Rove or Bert Newton, because that would be really easy to get, right? Guess who came up first? Robin Williams. Number 2, Seinfeld. Number 3, Jim Carrey. I just dug myself a grave. I mean, what an idiot I was. So I thought, okay, we'll give it a shot. So I flew over and we met with Robin Williams and did the deal. And his was $1 million for 2 days' work for 3 years in a row. And I rang up the Greater and said to them from New York, look, just done the deal, this is unbelievable. And my head became too big and God was watching, because by the time I got to Sydney on the airplane, he had text through his manager and said, sorry, he just got a movie, he won't be able to do it. So I had to ring up the general manager of the Greater and tell them to stop building that statue of me, which they were going to build. And so then we chased Seinfeld, who was number 2, and that took 6 months. It was not easy. That guy is bigger than the Pope. You can't get anywhere near him. He can't travel in a plane. You have to give him a private jet because he can't travel. He's just bigger than the president, right? And so anyway, I eventually got onto him. He said, come on over. And as it did, we ended up, you know, getting on. His manager is a guy called George Shapiro, who's a little 70-something-year-old guy who's just good fun, pretty cheeky like me, so we got on. And yeah, we did the deal. So everyone thinks we paid a lot more money than what we did, but we got Jerry for $1.1 million a year by 3 years. Now, Jennifer Hawkins gets more than that from Myer, and Ricky Ponting gets more than that from Synovus Vitamins. So to get the biggest comedian in the world for that sort of money is crazy. And that just added so much money to that building society. It was just crazy. Guess what happened? Towards the 3rd year, I decided to do this. So I moved on, and Jerry put his fee up to 1.5. Not much, you know, really in the big picture. And the board that was there when I was doing all of this sort of stuff moved on, and another board came in. The other board that came in was more likely full of accountants and lawyers. And they looked at him going from 1.1 to 1.5, which was like a bee's dick, nothing. And I wasn't at the meeting, but the manager who was at the meeting said, JD, if you'd been there, you would have just gone nuts. They were debating whether to say yes. He's just taking their business up here, but because they actually said, who does that yank think he is? And one of them in the meeting apparently said, you know, we can get Andrew Johns for less than that. Guess you could, yeah. So anyway, it never passed the third year. George Shapiro, his manager, was on the phone to me and just said, look, we don't care. I mean, Jerry's got more money than God. But what happened? And I said, mate, I don't know. I'm not there anymore. And that's what happened. He said, wow, guess what they did? They've gone back to price marketing. Get a home loan from the grader for 2.8%, whatever it might be. Go figure. Okay, this is, I think if we've got this fixed, this is my one. Okay, that's that one. I've got to show you this one. If you're able to use testimonials, in your ad, or you're able to get them, please do it. There's nothing more powerful than a testimonial. Who's got video testimonials on the website? Okay, rightio. So therefore, get more of them, because they break down the barrier of mistrust, okay? Because I'm going to sit here and say I'm great, and unless I've got people saying I'm great, you won't believe me. And that's the same in your business. This one here happens to be Colin and Elaine, and they're in Gosford, New South Wales. The husband never said anything in any of the ads. I don't think one husband ever said anything. And in this instance, he's a bikie, so we didn't really want to ask him to say anything. He had Kawasaki's all outside his house, and he was happy to be mute. I was happy for him to be mute. And his wife here, she was fantastic. Now, do you think we encouraged them to come out of their shell? Like if I said to them, well, bank would be a 4-letter word in this house, wouldn't it? And they go, no. Bank would be a 4-letter word in this house, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, bank's a 4-letter word in this house. Good. Can you just sign here? That was your own words, okay? Right. So you'll see this one lit up the switchboard like nuts. Every time we played this over a 3-year period, this thing broke records.
Why leave your bank for the greater?
Why would I put money into the bank when they charge me for every transaction? They charge me if I use internet banking. They charge me if I use phone banking. They charge me if I use an ATM. They charge me more if I line up for 20 minutes and hand money over the counter. It's a wonder they don't charge me to walk past the bank.
Swap your home loan to the greater and forget about all these fees. Swap now, save on fees and get a free holiday. Call 13 13 86.
Do you think Elaine volunteered by herself that it's a wonder they don't charge me to walk past the bank? Do you think that would have been something she said herself? Not a chance, of course. You know, I'm saying to her, oh, it's a wonder they don't charge you to walk past the bank. And she'd go, yeah. So Elaine, it's a wonder they don't charge you to walk past the bank. About the 4th time she goes, gotcha. It's a wonder they don't charge you to walk past the bank. We just drop to our knees and say, thank you, the Lord. Thank you very much, okay? We've just got the take from heaven. G'day, Brandon. How are you, mate? How's things? None of your business. Okay, so... Where's Ash? Yeah, of course you did. Is he? Okay. Well, mate, he's missing out. You're here. He's missing out. Yep. Now, what happens is that when you have a client like this where they're giving away free holidays, there's a chance for the marketing advisor, of course, to create a junket for himself. So I said to them, look, we should get to Fiji and do some of our commercials over there. I wanted a holiday in Fiji. And so that's what we did. And I got a little bit cheekier over there. I had one too many, I don't know, scotches, what have you, and this was late in the afternoon. And I did this just to take the piss, but it ended up being one of our most successful commercials. I'll play it.
Very upset. I swap my home loan to the greater and I get a free holiday to Fiji. Voila!
Want a free holiday with your home loan that can take you and your partner all the way to the fabulous Hideaway Resort in Fiji, airfares and accommodation included? Just get your home loan from the Greater Building Society.
Get a home loan from the greater and get a free holiday to Fiji.
I did. Call the Greater on 13 13 86.
What's a home loan?
I'd had too much to drink, all right? So therefore, we had a bit of fun doing it. And then, can you imagine me getting that through legal and compliance? Can you imagine me getting on with legal and compliance, like guys like you? Just think, the legal and compliance manager knew what days I'd come to the greater, because they're in Newcastle head office, and I'd fly down. And he'd walk into the office and he'd be like this, and he'd be, oh, JD, we've got to have a talk. You can't say that on TV. And why not? Oh, and of course, these days with PC gone nuts, I don't know whether you get away with anything, but yeah. You know what he said to me? The legal and compliance guy would say to me, you got to start to think more like me. I said, mate, if I think more like you, there won't be a building society, all right? Because you're as boring as shit, and you won't have anything going on TV, for goodness sake. So therefore, you've got to be more like me. And so we've battled that out. I said, how about we meet in the middle, okay? I'll push the envelope as far as I can, and then you just tell me what we're going to get sued for, all right? Give me a sec. I think that's... Okay, I've got to play you this one. This was a few years ago with less wrinkles, but nonetheless, I had, who's the guy on TV, the comedian, He does the Aussie Outback guy, Glenn Robbins, yeah. We had him to play the role of a John Cleese style manager. And what it was again, showcasing that the Greater was different from banks, because that was the whole idea. And of course, the free holiday made them very different, but they were different in the sense in those days they weren't spending a lot of money. They weren't charging fees and charges that the banks did. And he rang up sick, couldn't make it. So we had the camera crew ready, the whole thing. And the general manager walks into the office that I had and he goes, because I'd written all the scripts, the John Cleese sort of scripts, where the bank manager is being asked by customers, why can't you do what the Greater does? Well, the Greater gives us a free holiday and the Greater doesn't charge fees. So it was actually doing a Coke Pepsi sort of ad. And Glenn fell sick, and so therefore the general manager walked in and said, mate, you do it. We've got the camera crew here, everyone else. I'm looking on TV. He said, no, just do it. I said, mate, no, we'll just, we'd waste the money on the camera crew, but we'll get Glenn next week when he's well. And he said, no, we're not doing that. And he said, you do realise that your contract is coming up for renewal in the next month. I said, he was a mate, but I said, come on. He said, get your makeup on and get up there. So this is the result. We did a few of them. And because the Greater was a very heavy advertiser, can you imagine, I couldn't walk down the street of any country town without people saying, oh, you're that dickhead bank manager, because I had to play the role of the bank manager. Well, actually, you are asking for a lot with your home loan. You want a low interest rate.
Like at the Greater.
You don't want to pay any account keeping fees.
Greater don't charge them.
And you want a free holiday.
Come on. If the Greater can do it, surely a big bank like you could help us out.
You know what? I think we can help you out. Bruno, help these good people out, would you?
With a home loan from the Greater, you save on fees and...
Okay, that was a dummy ad. There was a better, I don't know why Paul Wilson's voice is there, but anyway. Okay, so therefore, we then at one stage took it to another level. Remember I told you before, fuel discounts? Not only did you get a free home loan, free holiday, but we gave you 10 cents a litre off your petrol. Can you imagine when I walked into the boardroom and said, listen, guys, this is pre-Seinfeld. I'm going to take this another level. And they went, you mean we're going to take away the holiday and we're going to give them the... I said, no, we're going to add it on. And they go, are you nuts? No, well, maybe, but that's what we're going to do. And that's 10 cents a litre. The supermarkets are 4 cents a litre, yeah? But how do we do that? Do we have to buy petrol stations? I said, no. So what we did is that we came on, do we have a TV ad here or not? Okay. We came on and said, you not only get a holiday now, we're going to give you 10 cents a litre off your petrol, up to 80 litres, but we knew we'd only lose 50 because we did all the homework on that. Woolworths give 80, but they only lose 50. Sorry, they lose 34. So we budgeted for 50. Everyone's got small cars, right? And so therefore what we did is that we said, get a free holiday, but also get 10 cents a litre. Does 10 cents a litre for an entire year sound like a pretty good giveaway? Doesn't it? When you compare it against the supermarkets, 4 cents, and this is every week for a year. But do the maths, okay? The average is 50 litres, multiplied by 10 cents is $5 a week. Multiply the $5 a week by 52, 260 bucks. And we only had a redemption rate of 72%. So it wasn't 250 bucks, it was more likely 200 bucks. It went through the roof, it went nuts. We're talking a call centre that had to double in size because it's all about perception, not reality. And you've got these idiots out there going, oh, I think we'll have a 20% discount. No. This will cost you nothing like a 20% discount, but you've cleverly created a Happy Meal toy that has a massive value equation because no one in their right mind does the maths. Even when I sat there at the boardroom, I'm saying, guys, do the maths. 10 cents a litre by 50 litres is $5. Multiply that by 52 weeks, that's $260. I guessed we'd get an 80% redemption. It was 72. So for $200, they pay a broker $1,200. So this was like nothing compared to what they would have done if they just paid a mortgage broker. Who thinks this is pretty clever? 2 people, okay, and the rest of you, I hope you die in your sleep, seriously, because I reckon it is clever. Yeah. We do have a TV ad, I think. Is this a TV ad? Wish I knew what was coming up. Yeah, okay.
If you move quickly, the Greater Building Society could save you 50 cents a litre on your petrol. Get a $200,000 home loan from the Greater and you can save 50 cents a litre on your petrol for a whole year. It's as simple as that. The more you borrow, the more you save.
50 cents a litre just for getting a home loan.
That was a real customer. Customers like that, the last thing you need is a fancy celebrity spokesman.
Okay, then this guy came along. A lot of you have seen this, but I'm going to show off. I'll play it just before morning tea.
I'd like to talk to you about a home loan. Not for me, for you. I have a home.
The Get a Getaways home loan from the Greater. It could be the most fun financial decision you'll ever make. Just ask a Greater customer.
When we shopped around for a home loan, we found the Greater had one of the lowest interest rates.
And a free holiday with over 200 choices, and there were no catches.
Get a Getaways home loan and go on a free holiday. Or loan us some money and we'll go on a holiday. Either way, someone's getting out of here.
Okay, and...
You want to talk about great? The greatest lesson I have ever learned in life is that sucks and great are actually pretty close. You have an ice cream cone. You're walking down the street. The ice cream falls off the top of the cone, hits the pavement. Sucks. What do you say? Great.
You really want to know what's great? The interest rate I get on my bonus saver account with the Greater.
Don't forget Tuesday's free t-shirt night right here in front of the Greater.
Okay, the results of that were that they tripled their home loan in the first 2 years of Seinfeld. Can you imagine if you tripled your business in the first 24 months? Do you reckon you'd be saying, shaking hands with that person in the third year? It's like just nuts, just crazy. And I'll play this before we go to our morning tea, because what would happen when I went out to those people's homes, like Elaine and her husband, a bikey husband, I'd normally take the piss out of them and say, look, I'd like to say that you were really good in that TV ad. And they go, oh, thank you, because they've seen me cheeky right throughout the morning, and here I am coming clean going, look, I'd like to say that you were really good. They go, oh, thank you. I said, no, I'd like to say that, I can't, you're awful, you know. And so the camera crew got me back when we went to New York.
JD, you know, I just want to say that, you know, you are the most professional, most competent, just best to work with marketing person I've ever worked with.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
I'd like to say that.
Right. Okay. Right, yeah, so we will break for morning tea, and I think we're breaking for 20 minutes, is that right? Okay, so therefore we'll break for 20 minutes. We'll pump up some music in here so that you know. But before you go, there is no way you can go without showing your appreciation for really good content. And thank you for that. I didn't expect that, so thank you. Don't you think, Homer, it's tragic when the person up here, because you do entertaining, so you know what I'm talking about, it's tragic when the person actually has to ask